Oh, what a great way to start the morning.
I could have had this bloody arse end off by now.
Hello, you absolute legends. Good morning from a beautiful morning here in Lincolnshire. It's John here, of course, and I'm with the Purple Smart. The Purple Smart is my Smart ForTwo 450. It's a 2004 700cc turbo model, and it's my daily driver. Well, it was up until recently when I bought a Smart 451, but more about that on the channel if you're interested in it. We've been everywhere, this car and I. We've rebuilt it once. We've replaced all the front suspension recently, and I've done sort of 60-odd thousand miles in it in the past 7 years. I am in love with this car. I do think it's brilliant. Loads of you will be thinking, why? It's a £1,800 car. Why are you spending so much money on it? Well, emotional attachment, I suppose, and I genuinely enjoy driving it. We've recently replaced the front suspension, as I say, and it's changed the car totally. We've got the rear to do, and I've got the parts to do that. But in this video, we're going to replace the exhaust. Around about 1.5 years ago now, the car went bang. It blew up inevitably, as these engines do. It was eating oil, and we decided that we would leave it until it went terminal. It went terminal, and it took everything with it, the turbo, the whole shebang. But we didn't replace the exhaust at the time because it was a relatively new catalytic converter exhaust system. Dad cleared all the rubbish out of it. In fact, he cut it open and took all the stuff out of it that went in it, and we slapped it back on the car because we'd already spent £1,000 on that project sort of 1.5 years ago. Anyway, it's finally given up the ghost, that exhaust. It's cracked, it's whistling, it's whining, and it's so loud in the cabin that when Mrs. John Coupland tells me, no, you can't buy that car, I can't hear her. And inevitably, I end up buying that car. Anyway, in this video, Dad and I are going to replace the exhaust. I've bought a new one. It's cost 120 quid. Sadly, a genuine smart exhaust no longer available. I did ask the question. So I've been to BM Catalysts, who are brilliant in all fairness. They gave me 20% off as well, so shout out to them, who have provided me next day delivery with an exhaust. In this video then, we're going to get the exhaust off and hopefully fit the new one without any drama. Right, so first of all, I want you to hear just how bad this exhaust is. It's whistling, rattling, knocking and banging. Terrible. Let's get a new one on. Good morning.
Hello, matey boy. How you
Do
doing?
you sleep in here? It's sort of 8 o'clock in the morning and you're in the garage.
Matey boy, I've been out doing jobs since before then.
What have you been up to this morning?
Doing some stuff that your mum wanted doing. Garden stuff.
We've got a cup of tea ready, fueled for the day. We've got the Smart 450 here. You all right there?
No, it's full of
Nat, you've been spraying brake cleaner again. So what are we tackling this morning, first and foremost, in this video?
Let's get the exhaust out of the way.
Let's do the exhaust. New exhaust, please. It's probably possible, and there's probably some clever people that could replace the exhaust without taking the back bumper off, but, well, we're getting experts at taking these little Lego cars apart. So the first port of call is to take the rear bumper off. It's effectively just a couple of screws and clips. So we're going to get that off, get that bumper safe. We can have a look underneath the car properly as well, and get the exhaust off. So much more simpler than a Smart 451. It's a Torx screw here, or a Torx bolt, whichever you want to call it. It's 3 across here, 1, 2, 3, and then it pretty much just pops off. If you remember, if you haven't seen the Smart 451 videos, we had to remove sort of all the tailgate, all the sort of sill covers as well. So much more easier on the Smart 450. Now the car is 20-odd years old, and so clips are going to start to get brittle. There goes the bumper. So we've made a little bit of a mistake in that we've pulled the bumper clips off. They do slide off, so don't make that mistake because we've broke a couple there. Thankfully, got some in stock. They slide off, they don't pull off. Next port of call is getting this crash bar off, again held in with Torx bolts. Off comes the crash bar. And now we can see the catalytic converter and the exhaust. As I say, it is all in one. So here's your catalytic converter, here's your exhaust, and You can see it's all rusty and rotten. Why would it be sort of whistling and rattling all about?
I think it's dropped bits inside, mate, hasn't it?
So when the turbo went bang and when the engine went bang, we cut it open, didn't we? We took all the nonsense out of it. Has it just given up the ghost now?
I should think so. We'll know when we take it to bits, won't we?
Let's have a good look at this now then. So, is it cracked there? Yeah, there's a couple of little cracks. Is it cracked under here? Oh my goodness, yeah, it's all cracked under here, look, so that's no good. Fingers crossed, the replacement one will be easy to fit because, well, it's exactly the same. It's the same make, it's the same model, and it's been off quite recently. So the oxygen sensor needs to be removed. Also known as a Lambda sensor. Now this could be where it goes wrong. Can you just explain to us what a Lambda sensor or an oxygen sensor does? Apart from sense oxygen, of course.
It sends a voltage back to the ECU for it to calculate the mixture.
So extreme spannering going on because
I don't know why it's stuck. I don't know why it's stuck.
Ah, now it moves a little bit there. Top tip, you've tightened it up a little bit before loosening it. Why have you done that?
It's one of them things that works. Which is a disappointment.
Yeah. It's slowly going though, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Or is it just sort of twisting back and forth?
What it's doing, yeah.
So why are you doing this on the car?
Because it's holding it tight, isn't it? So rather than trying to stand on it, I can't believe how tight this is. If you're not careful, they will pick up and drag the threads out with them if you're not careful with these. Lots of folks have said change the Lambda sensor at the same time, but hopefully we'll get away with it.
I was going to say, why are we not changing the Lambda sensor at the same time?
Because the bloke who runs the car is a bit mean.
How much would one normally be? Are they an expensive part?
They can be, yeah, it all depends where you get them from.
Let's have a look at that then. So, it's literally just a sensor with a thread on the end there. Looks good to you though, no issues?
You can't tell, mate, can you? It's totally and utterly not possible.
What would be a symptom of a bad Lambda sensor?
Mill light on.
Ah, well, we haven't got that, so that's good news. So what's next? What have you decided you're going to do?
I'm going to take the X-frame off for a start so I can get at them bolts easier.
Is that the part with the control arms that we've replaced?
It's not a big deal, it really isn't.
So while we're here, we're also going to be replacing the rear suspension. That's going to be in a separate video, but whilst we are stripping the car down, it would be silly not to do it. And out comes the jack, funded by the good people of YouTube. So if you've ever watched the videos, you will know that your revenue goes straight back into the channel. So every single penny that we earn from YouTube goes back into making more videos for you guys. And we bought that jack for Dad, January now, so everyone that watched the Rover 75 content has bought that jack. And out comes the old trusty Taskmaster jack as well. Now it's good that we've got two jacks because we can jack things up evenly. Don't forget to put your axle stands in, that is really important. So we're going to take these X-bar off, which has got the control arms located on it, and the wheels as well. So because we're doing the suspension while we're here as well, we're going to jack the car up and get those wheels off, just so we can get everything nice and tidy and off and out the way. Dual wielding jacks. These smart cars have a habit of buggering off, so make sure you chop the front wheels as well. In this box then is the new exhaust, or the new catalytic converter. What would you class it as? A cat back? Is that what it's called? Something like that. It's all in one. Are you happy, you safe? You've got your axle stands in?
Think so, dude.
Good stuff. Now it's time to get the wheels off. Do you need me to put my foot on the brake?
Hopefully I'll put the handbrake on in a second.
Off comes the wheel. That's the second wheel off. How's it looking?
It's It's looking like I'm going to take my jumper off.
Right, so the X-frame is coming off. We've recently replaced these control arms because the bushes were no good. If you haven't seen that video, it's also on the channel.
Once that X-frame's out of the way, smart cars are easy to work on.
Yes, as you say, once you've got that X-frame out of the way, you can do anything, can't you? Drop the engine, all sorts.
X-frame off is a good idea.
Talking about smart car work, have you seen Mr. Hubnut's latest on his smart car?
Yeah, I haven't, mate. Yeah, they did a good job.
He's doing a good job getting it done. It's that starter motor and alternator issue he's got.
No, I was interested to see how they did it.
How did they do it in comparison to how you would do it? Would you have done anything differently?
I reckon they did it the best way, mate. Dropped the whole subframe, didn't they?
Yes. So that's the 2 bolts out of the arms, and then there's just 2 in the chassis to remove, which is here and here. Well, they were only out, what, less than 4 weeks ago, do you reckon? A bit more than that.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Made that look easy.
That's because the bolts have all been cleaned and copper slipped, haven't they?
Off comes the second one.
Top tip, if you take an X-frame off, you can get at things easy.
Make sure you've got someone to hold it up in the middle, else it'll just fall. It'll fall onto the exhaust. And then it just slides out. There goes the X-frame. Put that to one side. So the X-frame is now off. Did you need to remove that to get the exhaust off?
It made my life a lot easier.
It has, yeah. For the sake of 4 bolts, it's made life easier. So there's an exhaust mounting bracket that's on the, well, it's on the catback actually, and it's like a little fork. And that attaches to, is it the gearbox it's attached to there?
Fastened to the diff, yeah.
Ah, fastened to the diff. 2 bolts in there.
I can remember we put an extra earth on these because they suffer with earth problems, don't they?
We did, yeah.
One of the comments was about your earth.
Was that on Mr. Hubnut's video?
Yeah, some of the comments said, hey, check your earths because they suffer with them.
They
and
do.
We did the same thing, didn't we?
We certainly did. We uprated the earth.
Somebody told us that they suffer with earths.
It's well, I don't know, is it a placebo? Did it make it any better? Who knows? Once you've got that bracket removed or undone, you can start to
and you can see
remove
how
the
easy
cap
it
back.
is to see the X-frame. I mean, you actually see them.
Yes, now we've removed that X-frame, you can see the exhaust mountings quite easily. It's certainly probably a job to do with it off. Not saying you need to, but for us, it's made life a lot easier. Off comes the exhaust bolts. Is there just 2 in this?
Yes, mate. That's the difference between an Aldi spanner and a snap-on spanner.
What's the difference?
Because the Aldi spanner wouldn't fit in this tight space.
But the snap-on does.
Yeah, because it's made of thinner material.
Quality tools.
Yeah.
Then bolts come off okay.
Up to now.
So 4 bolts hold the exhaust in place, 2 on the bracket and 2 on the manifold. Right, so while Dad's taking that off the car, let's take a look at the new one, probably to make sure that it is the right thing. Overnight from BM Catalysts, as I say, they gave me 20% off, so shout out to them. £100. Sadly, can't get a genuine one anymore, which I would have loved to have put on. Take all this out of here. There's the, what's this say? Oh, it's got my address on it, you can't see that, sorry. Else everyone will be bringing around their smart car for Dad to have a look at. And there it is, there's the new one. It comes with a fitting kit. When it says fitting kit, it's just some new washers and bolts. You can see this bracket on here. You can see that it's, well, it's not OEM quality, as in it doesn't look exactly the same as a sort of smart one, but it is exactly the same as what is currently on the car. So refitting it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Unlike the 451, it doesn't need a gasket, it is a flange fit sort of exhaust. old exhaust
Looking about.
is off. So there's lots of washers that you've taken off with the previous exhaust. Where do they fit?
1, 2, 3. They fit under those nuts because the threads, the flange is a lot thinner on the pattern exhaust.
Right.
And it won't tighten up.
So obviously it's good to make sure you don't drop anything in.
That's what I was trying to avoid doing.
Through the manifold there.
That's what I was trying to avoid doing. Get some new nuts, do we?
Yes, yeah, everything comes with the kit. So you're just cleaning them pegs up.
Threads.
Threads. Studs, cleaning the studs up. And you've put some blue roll in the end there. Why have you done that?
So I get muck in the blooming turbine.
Is it cracked?
No, I'm just looking to see if it is.
Oh, good. We have replaced it.
We've changed this. This is the manifold bit we changed.
We did. I found the old manifold yesterday. I had a bit of a parts clear out at Maison de Coupland and found the old turbo manifold. I did actually put it in the pile for the scrap man. Now the exhaust is off, you can see sort of all under here in the engine bay, you can see the end of the chassis here, very similar to the 451, but also very different. It does need a little bit of rust protection under there, but that's not something I'm going to be doing today. You can see we've replaced these ABS reluctor rings when we did the rebuild. They're looking good, and no splits in any of them drive boots or anything like that. No engine mounts that are broken, so so far looking okay. So you've added copper slip to those studs.
I have, yeah.
I'm going to prepare the exhaust by taking all these stickers and bits and pieces off, because the last thing you want is sort of stickers on your exhaust.
It's going to sound a bit quieter after this.
Yeah, it will sound less like a tractor. Ah, there's a thing here.
Oh, that's what we need, a thing.
It's very important that the cause of failure of the old catalyst is identified and the problem resolved before fitting this cat. Well, I can tell you the cause of the failure. The engine went terminal. Exhaust paste must not be used in front of the catalyst, as this may cause the monolith to break down and will in all cases invalidate the warranty immediately. What is exhaust paste?
It's like putty clay stuff that you put on your exhaust to join them together.
It is strongly recommended that a new Lambda sensor and gaskets be fitted when replacing the catalyst. Well, we're not replacing that, no, because we know that it works. After fitting your new catalytic converter, we recommend that the vehicle is run for 10 minutes at fast idle or driven at a leisurely pace continuously for 8 miles to prolong the life of the converter. What's that all about?
Just to get it warmed up and ready for going, isn't it?
Here's a sticker for you.
Lots of these exhaust pastes and jointing compounds knacker your Lambda sensors up anyway.
Warning. Right, so I've taken that sticker off, I've taken that off. Here is the fitting kit. Would you like the fitting kit now or later?
Let's see what we've got.
Have a look.
See if it's any good.
And there's the new one. There's no cracks in that. It is exactly the same as the old one, which again I'm happy about.
Oh good, we can use those new nuts, they work. That's jolly good, son.
Would you like me to take this nut out where the Lambda sensor goes? Or leave it in for now?
Yeah, leave it on, mate.
Leave it on, just so we don't get any rubbish in there. That's all nice and clean. Well, it's not as rattly like the old one. In fact, here is the old one. You can hear there's all sorts of stuff going on in there. In fact, well, you can see where Dad welded it up. Here and here, because when the engine did go terminal, he cut the stuff out. What was the stuff that went sort of wrong? Was all the webbing and stuff inside?
Yeah, it melted all the insulation in the cat, all the soundproofing stuff. It didn't actually melt the cat.
So the cat was okay.
It didn't block the cat up, and I don't. You tell me why. I don't know.
Anyway, old versus new.
Go away and give me the new one.
Here's the new one, and I'm going away. What can you do with these? Scrap metal, man or lady?
Aye.
Recycling. On goes the new one. that seemed to line up pretty easy there.
Touch wood, yeah.
What you need is a car creeper.
I've got one. I ain't got time to get it out of the box even yet. So...
I found my calling in life. To block out the sun. Well, there's the new exhaust. It's pretty much on. It's not all tightened up yet because that's just making sure it fits properly, but made that look easy. You've been and got something there, some new washers. Are you not happy with the washers that came with it?
Yeah. Putting some spring washers on, mate, instead of the flat washers.
And why are you doing that?
We had one of these come loose, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
So I put some spring washers on. Leave these loose until I get the flange tight. That's the important bit. Good.
If you're struggling to get at them, just take the engine mount off.
Yeah, I think if you needed to get a socket on them, if you took the engine mounting off, you could get a socket on there.
But so far, so good.
Yeah, things ain't too tight, are they?
Certainly easier than doing a 451, eh?
Well, the trouble with the 451 is, when you look at it, every time you look, all the bolt heads are corroded away to a taper. It's like major corrosion centre. They seem to be... They must be rigged up to do electrolysis in reverse with them things.
Do you think the missing alternator belt cover has caused that?
On that, no.
Just years of corrosion?
Yeah, but it's rubbish, isn't it? This isn't corroded like this. All the bolt heads aren't corroded to come in little pyramids.
So you reckon maybe cost cutting?
I don't know what it is, whether it runs hotter under there or what, I don't know, but nothing runs hotter than one of these buggers, does it? And there's nothing like, the only thing I struggled with was the sump bolts on this, and other people have done the same.
Yeah, so ours has got an aftermarket sump fitted.
Yeah. So those are the people who put the aftermarket sump on, was the bolts up that tight that I couldn't get them out. But them's the only things I struggled with on there when I took the engine out of this.
This'll sound better.
It's only well grommet.
It just finally died. And again, cost saving when we rebuilt the car meant that I didn't put a new exhaust on. Now I'm in a position to do so.
Because we didn't know whether the engine would last.
No, that's true. And also we spent £1,000 doing that.
I still ain't been paid.
Now to tighten everything up. Is it a case of do it as humanly tight as possible?
No, use your brain. And get it pulled down level.
Use your built-in torque wrench settings.
You can feel.
Will it squish down so it will continually
Up to a point, yeah.
tighten up, yeah? The Lambda sensor.
Yeah, the Lambda.
The Lambda. What's the Lambda? Da, 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 da.
I don't know.
Da, 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 da. I think that's the Lambda. So you cleaned up the Lambda sensor, or the Lambda sensor. Yeah. Copper slip on there?
Some people say yes and some people say no.
What does the
make
Pete
sure,
Coupland top tip say?
I shall put a bit on to make sure none gets inside the exhaust though.
Yep. Just enough to do the job.
If it gets that hot it burns it off anyway, but... You see it's tended to pick the threads up a bit. The new sensor often comes with some anti-stick stuff on it anyway.
Alright, is that like a silicone or...?
No, it looks like copper slip.
Oh, there we go.
This is where we find out whether we've got a problem or not. It's not 100%, is it? Where's that big toilet?
So best practice would be to change the Lambda sensor. Yeah. We're not doing so, A, for a cost reason, B, because we know that it works, and C, well, we don't have one in stock. We know that this sensor works. We know that it does the job on the car. It looks like the original, would you say?
I wouldn't be surprised.
So we're going to keep that one for now. Torque wrench setting on there?
Yeah, there is one somewhere. Let's go and get me OEM smart car equipment.
Top tip.
Always use original OEM smart car cable ties.
What are you cable tying now?
Cable tying this harness to that manifold how it was before.
And is that that's the smart car way, is it?
I don't know.
Or is that the rebuilt by Pete Coupland way?
Well, that's the only place there's some room for the tinkers. So.
The OEM smart car harness cable ties.
Yeah, definitely. Always use OEM cable ties.
So in theory, that's now on there, isn't it?
In theory, we're going to start tinker up.
Yes, we are. Right.
Unlock the car.
Unlock the car. Start her up then, Gromit. Blimey.
Is that better?
That sounds better, doesn't it? And it is revving quite high because the car's cold. It will quieten down in a second. Oh no, it's going to blow! There she goes. So there's some smoke or steam coming off round the flange there.
It's a genie.
That's just where the product Dad's using is burning off. Smells good. How'd that go?
Sounds alright, doesn't it?
Are you going to give her a rev? Remember what the red sticker said? Sounds better now. Less of a tractor.
It was sounding blinking horrible, wasn't it?
Are we going to leave it running for a bit?
Certainly are, mate.
Leave it running for a bit. What you got there?
I don't know, but it'll work.
You've got your pedal compressor.
No.
So why have you done that?
The instruction says to run it at a fast idle, didn't it?
Fast idle for 8 minutes. I'll start the timer. You're just checking all the bolts, making sure they're nice and tight. Not a bad morning's work. There's the pedal compressor doing its thing. And a local scrap chap is coming to pick this up now. How do you think that went?
It went alright, mate, didn't it?
Not bad for an hour's work on a Sunday morning. So new exhaust is fitted to the car, 100 quid. I've got the instructions on here.
Warm you up for 8 minutes.
Just warm me up for 8 minutes.
I'll take you for a gentle jog.
It says, yeah, the vehicle is run for at least 10 minutes of fast idle and then driven at a leisurely and continuous pace for 8 miles. Let's thrash it round Lincolnshire's back roads.
It's just to get the old cat sort of settled down, isn't it?
Not a big job that, but a job that needed doing.
Indeed. It's been wanting doing for a long while.
Yes. Well, there you have it then. New exhaust fitted to the Smart 450. Thanks to Dad, as ever. We haven't put it all back together yet because we've got some more work to do. That's coming in a separate video, which will see us replace the shock absorbers and the springs. If you've enjoyed this video, thumbs up please. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Dad is the absolute legend, as you know. You've got 5,000 subscribers now, by the way, all over the world.
I'm humbled.
If you've enjoyed the video and want to comment down below. Hopefully you found it helpful as well.
You know why people watch, don't you?
Why is that?
I just like to see other people performing.
This is the sort of job that somebody can do on their own on a Sunday morning.
I would have thought so, yes mate.
Tools that they'll need.
What do you need? You need a 12mm spanner, you need a 12mm socket, you need some Torx sockets, and some Torx Allen key things, whatever you call them. I don't know what you call them.
But a DIY job.
Yeah, but you need sort of tools that aren't in your normal person's toolbox, really, sometimes.
Fair enough. So you might have to go out and buy some specialist tools.
They're not specialists these days, but they're, you know,
Stuff you might not have.
They're not just normal spanners, are they?
Fair enough. Talking of spanners, I'm going to go put the kettle on. Have a great day, whatever you're getting up to. Thanks for watching. If you could subscribe if you haven't already done so, that'd be grand. Till next time, have a great day. Goodbye.